Shalom. First and foremost, I want to say this. I got this toboggan on, but I got the crown part cut open, okay? So anybody got any beef or want to try to find something to nitpick about? No, I got the crown of it wide open, okay? So I want to face the east now and say I want to give all praise, honor, and glories to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shah, Bahasham, Harakah Kwadash. Double honor to the elders and apostles and bishops, beginning with Rabbi Abba Bivens last century, who was Elijah in the reincarnation, who was the forerunner of our salvation. He was sent, just like he was back in the ancient world over 2,000 years ago. He was sent to pave the way for Yahweh Shah's coming, as Yahweh Shah back then over 2,000 years ago. And he did it last century back in the 1960s as Rabbi Abba Bivens, because Yahweh Shah's getting ready to return here again for the salvation of the people on this sign right here, the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans that make up the 12 tribes of the nation of Israel. All right, in the name of the Heavenly Father, who's going to send His Son, and who's already sent them here in the Spirit right now. His name is Yahweh. Yah meaning He, Hawa means to exist. The name of His only begotten Son is Yahweh Shah. Yah meaning He, Yahweh Shah means to deliver. So both of their names are omen nomens, meaning both of their names are omen nomens, meaning like the name describes like who they are, what they stand for, what they're about. So the Most High exists, and Yahweh Shah is the deliverer for the nation of Israel, and only for the nation of Israel. What proves that is right here, Nahum. And it's 18 total nations that the Most High created, but the only nation He's dealing with is the nation of Israel. And salvation is only for the nation of Israel, but right now it's only for the elect. The 1/3 of the nation of Israel is going to be saved in this destruction that is set forth to come via nuclear destruction here onto Babylon and over to the that land of Israel where those tiny tops are, those 1948ers, which are not the people, pursuant to Revelation 3 and 9, and as well as Revelation 2 and 9. I go to that in a second. But to prove that the other nations will not make it, they don't have salvation, not for them. It's only for the nation of Israel, beginning with the elect. Nahum 1 and 3. The Lord is slow to anger and great in power, and will not at all acquit the wicked. All right. So, as usual, I'm going to and peace and salutations to the elect, whoever you are. I don't know who you are, but I hope that you find this video enlightening, and I hope it helps you seal your mind. I've been called through the Spirit by Yahweh Shah, and He told me that I am to be His mouthpiece. So, like the scriptures say, many are called, few are chosen. So I've been called to do this. I just hope that I'm of the chosen. I'll know in time. And to the rest of the elect, the innumerable multitude, scattered amongst the four corners of the earth, scattered amongst the other heathen nations that have the appearance of the heathen nations, Shalom. And that is pursuant to Jeremiah, the 12th chapter and the 9th verse, where the Most High speaks about His people being a speckled bird. And that's a part of the curse that that some of us Israelites have to endure. Some of the Israelites, the elect, have to endure before they get saved. Is that part of that curse is that they're going to look like the other nations. They're going to look like so-called white people. They're going to look like so-called Arabs, so-called Africans, so-called Chinese, so-called Japanese, so-called Hawaiian. But spiritually, the line goes back to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. All right? And as per usual, right now we're in the time of Jacob's trouble. Pursuant to Jeremiah chapter 30, verses 7. Let me grab that. Jeremiah 30 and 7. Alas, for that day is great, so that none is like it. It is even the time of Jacob's trouble, but he shall be saved out of it. The he that shall be saved out of it is the elect of the nation of Israel. So 1/3 of the nation of Israel, which is the 144,000, the 12. Our king was just here, which I believe in through the spirit is our king, and he was just here. He went back. He's up at the spirit world at the altar, praying on behalf of the elect right now. And what shall he be saved from? Well, let's go to Revelation, the 13th chapter, the one. This is what I always do. Revelation 13, and I'm going to start at 10. I'm going to start at 9. If any man have an ear, let him hear. He that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity. He that killeth with the sword must be killed with the sword. Here is the patience and the faith of the saints. So right now, you know, we got led back in captivity. We got led here in captivity via slave ships. Well, Judah, Benjamin, and Levi did, coming from the west coast of Africa over here in slave ships. And when those slave ships arrived here on the east coast, up and down over there in Virginia, and up and down those states right there on the east coast, they grabbed some of the so-called Northern Kingdom, the so-called Native Americans, Seminole Indians, and Latinos, and put them on those same ships, and then shipped them back overseas to parts like Africa, Spain, Portugal, you know, other parts of Asia. But now in modern time, and we're still underneath captivity and subjugation to Esau Edom, which is the self-proclaimed white man. All right. And we're at a time period where we're in the time of Jacob's trouble. You see these ICE agents everywhere, predominantly targeting and snatching up so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans everywhere, all up and down Babylon. But they're I'm alluding to this point here of Esau trying to establish his NWO. Revelation chapter 13, verse 16. And he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their forehead, and that no man might buy or sell, save he that had the mark, or the number, or the name of the beast, or the number of his name. All right. Now, what is that talking about? That's talking about the micro C-hip. The type of C-hips that we have in our cell phones, our laptops, our personal computers. It's in our TVs. It's in our smart refrigerators. It's in our smart washing machines and dryers. It's in our vehicles. At some point, they're gonna through gradualism, they're gonna transition it to underskin surveillance. If you look up Yuval Noah Harari, his last name is spelled Harari. He talks about underskin surveillance and how that is the ultimate goal that they wish to achieve here on this earth, which will be ultimate, is mainly, they're going to do the whole planet, but they want the children of Israel on this sign to take that the mark of that C-hip, because that's to show ultimate salute or paying homage to saying Esau Edom is their God. Lord willing, I will not do that. But back to what I was saying about those small hats, those tiny tops over there in the land of Israel. Revelation 3 and 9. I mean, it works. It's synonymous with both talking about the tiny tops and those wicked Israelite camps, those scribes and those Pharisees who are back here today. Revelation 3 and 9. Behold, I will make them the synagogue. Behold, I will make them of the synagogue of Satan, which say they are Jews and are not, but do lie. Behold, I will make them come and worship before thy feet, and to know that I have loved thee. Well, that's also talking about, like I said, the wicked scribes and Pharisees and those Israelite camps that are teaching that off doctrine, who have been made of the synagogue of Satan. And the physical Satan here, the physical counterpart to the spiritual demon Satan, is the so-called self-proclaimed white man. This is Revelation 2 and 9. I know thy works in tribulation and poverty, but thou art rich. And I know the blasphemy of them which say they are Jews and are not, but are the synagogue of Satan. And one thing that those tiny tops follow, the doctrine that they truly follow, is called the Talmud. All right, Talmud, the Talmud. All right, where it is told, where everything in that text is absolutely contrary to the scriptures, to the Heavenly Father's scriptures. where they say things like Mary was a promiscuous woman, where they say Yahushua, who the world really calls Jesus Christ, is boiling in excrement right now. Lord willing, through the spirit, Lord willing, I'm going to do a lesson on that Talmud. Okay, it's pretty morbid. But back to Revelation chapter 13 and 16 about him causing all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark. In order for him to cause all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark, means that he has to have global cooperation. And the way he's going to do that, and what proves that, and it proves that he's backed, is going to be able to achieve that to a certain degree, is Psalms the 83rd chapter in the 6th verse. I'll go ahead and start from verse 1. Psalms 83 and 1, a song or psalm of Asaph, which is a Levite. Keep not thou silence, O Yahweh, hold not thy peace, and be not still, O Yahweh. For lo, thine enemies make a tumult, and they that hate thee have lifted up the head. They have taken crafty counsel against thy people, and consulted against thy hidden ones. They have said, Come and let us cut them off from being a nation, that the name of Israel may be no more in remembrance. And that's what we're struggling and suffering with the people on this side, where they call us a byword and a proverb of reproach. You can Google that scripture. A byword shall be made a byword and proverb of reproach. That's why for Judah, we're called so-called Negroes. For Benjamin, they're called so-called Jamaicans. For the Levites, they're called so-called Haitians. For Puerto Ricans, or for Ephraim, they're called so-called Puerto Ricans. Issachar, they're called so-called Mexicans, and the rest of the tribes, okay? They have said, okay, for lo, they have consulted together with one consent. They are confederate against thee. Let me go back up here to chapter, Psalms 83rd chapter, verse 2. For lo, thine enemies make a tumult, and they that hate thee have lifted up the head. And how is that? What does that mean? That means that the so-called white man has lifted up the head as being the children of God. That's what they say with their mouth. But if you see how they move through their actions, it is not fitting to how the people of God would be living in this time before the great salvation for the elect of the nation of Israel. They wouldn't be ruling the world. It says in Deuteronomy the 28th chapter, and between the 15th and 68th verse, that we shall be the tail, and that the heathen, the so-called self-proclaimed white man, will be the head. That we shall be the borrower, and Esau shall be the lender. Now, if you see now in today's time, all the tiny tops, they own all the banks in the financial district, the global financial district, and we have to try to get loans, but we can't get them at the time because we get redlined. And to further proof that this man has help from the other heathen nations, here are some of them. The tabernacles of Edom, which are the so-called self-proclaimed white man, and the Ishmaelites, which are the so-called Arabs, of Moab, which are the so-called Chinese, and the Hagarenes, Jebel, and Ammon. Ammon are the so-called Japanese, and Amalek, who are the so-called tiny tops, the small hats, which are a tribe of the Edomites. The Philistines with the inhabitants of Tyre, which are the Hamites. All right? And to prove that, let's see if I got my sheet. I don't think I got my paper, but damn it, I left it at the house. Here we go. To prove that, they got a place called, Sidon, S-I-D-O-N, is a family of the Hamites. They got a place called Sidon, Mississippi. I mentioned earlier Edom. The scriptures mentioned earlier Edom. You have Edom, Texas, Edom, Virginia, Edom, California. Ishmael, you got a place called Ishmael, Missouri. Moab, you got a place called Moab, Utah. I mentioned Ammon. You got a place called Ammon, Idaho. Ammon, North Carolina. Ammon, Ford, North Carolina. And Ammon, Virginia. Palestine, you got a place in here called Palestine, Illinois. Palestine, Texas, which is where Palestine, the so-called Arabs, the Ishmaelites are over there now, but that's actually the land of the Hamite, of the Canaanites, the Hamites. So, Assyria or Asher. Let me finish reading Psalms the 83rd chapter. Verse 8. Asher is also joined with them. They have helping the children of Lot Salah. So Asher are the Assyrians, all right? But the name, so Assyria, you have a place here in Babylon called Assyria Township, Michigan, all right? And you have a place called Assyria Creek in Michigan. Now, Nineveh is the capital of Assyria, and you have a place out here, several places called Nineveh, Indiana, Nineveh, Pennsylvania, Nineveh, Missouri, Nineveh, New York, and Nineveh, Virginia, just to name a few. And mind you, Canaan, Canaan, is the grandson of Ham, right? But here in Babylon, in America, you have places named Canaan out here. You even have a place called Cush. Now Cush, the Cushites are the so-called Ethiopians, and they're a subsect of the Hamites too. All right, you got a place out here. Let me see. Cush. Let me go back. Salakia, bear with me. Going back to my point earlier about having a town, places called Canaan here in America, which shows you that these people are operating underneath the scriptures. They just know their place. So because they know the truth, that's how they're able to tell a lie. That's how they're able to lie to us and lie to the rest of the people. And they put a covering cast over the people. And part of that covering cast is everyone's biblical identity. The 18 nations and the subsect families of those 18 nations. All right? That's why everyone is not giving up their biblical names. They're giving these bywords. Now, Canaan is a popular place, is a popular place name in the U.S., especially in New England. Towns and villages in Connecticut. They have Canaan, North Canaan, New Canaan. They have Maine, New Hampshire, and Vermont. Plus locations in Indiana, Mississippi, New York, Ohio, and Pennsylvania. So here's some of the towns and villages. They have Canaan, Connecticut. They have New Canaan, Connecticut. They have North Canaan, Connecticut. They have Canaan, New Hampshire. They have Canaan, New York. They have Canaan VT, which is a northern town bordering New Hampshire and Quebec, Canada. They have Canaan, Mississippi. They have Canaan, Indiana. Canaan, West Virginia. Now they also have a Canaan Township and several townships in Ohio, meaning Athens, Madison, Morrow, and Wayne counties. And you also have Canaan Valley, West Virginia. So that also shows too that a lot of these heathens, not only does Esau know, and he's using these energies and these frequencies because all the 17 heathen nations had a hand in enslaving the children of Israel, all of them. But the worst and the final captivity of our captivity, the nation of Israel, is here in Babylon in modern times underneath the Edomites, and this is the worst captivity of them all. But Esau is the grand illusionist and the grand warlock who likes to cast enchantments upon the world to keep the children of Israel underneath his vibration. And what he's doing and how he does that is he's collaging up his spiritual witchcraft arsenal with the ways of the other heathen nations all throughout time, stemming back all the way to the garden during the time of Adam, all the way to today. Hence why he has a lot of towns and cities and states and villages out here in Babylon named after these ancient cities. But he has to try to run and duck and hide and cast himself and cast the people in illusions on the nature of reality. But he knows the nature of reality. That's how he's able to lie and tell a lie, because he knows the truth, and deceive the people into the nature of reality and what's deemed important and what isn't important. Okay? And to prove that he has more cooperation, I live out here in Arizona, and we have a big semiconductor plant or RFID chip plant here down a little south of here in Phoenix, Arizona. And here's a little program I saw. I just happened to catch this on the news last night. The Spirit had me catch it. Taiwan which is like, it's over there in Asia around Moab and Ammon, okay? Taiwan Semiconductor Manufacturing Company, or TSMC, brought hundreds, potentially over 1,000 skilled Taiwanese workers and engineers to its Phoenix, Arizona semiconductor plant to expedite construction and operations, leading to a significant Taiwanese community forming in the area, but also sparking controversy, union disputes over local hiring, and a lawsuit alleging discrimination and cultural clashes between Taiwanese management and American workers, though the company aims to increase U.S. hiring long term. Now, the reason why they brought Taiwan over here, there's Taiwanese over here, is because the Taiwanese have a major, they specialize in those, in the semiconductor manufacturing plants and plants that produce those RFID chips that they, like I said, that they have in vehicles and cell phones, and your smart washer and dryer, and your smart refrigerator, your laptop, your personal computer, etc., and etc. So they special because they have a lot of minerals and elements from the periodic table over there in that land that can make those chips. And now they want to increase production here in Babylon, with the Phoenix plant being a big one. They got one over in a micro C-HIP plant over in Virginia, and then you got one over there in Tennessee. All right. And now they're developing a place down there in Phoenix called Tiny Taiwan. All right. Just like they got over there in Los Angeles, California, they got a place called Little Tokyo, Little China, Little Armenia Town. You know, they got like little Arab places over there, little Turkish people. All right. So you see how they're allowing these people to come in. East Indians, they own all the hotels. The Patels own those Motel 6s and a lot of these restaurants and these gas stations out here. Ishmael's got his hand in the gas station department out here. Esau runs the banks and owns the properties and the land. All right. Moab and Ammon make up a lot of these restaurants where they sell all that food and all that abominable meat. All right. But you notice the people on this side, the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, we're on the bottom. We live in the projects in the hood. We live in the barrios. We live in the reservations. We're down and out, but everyone else is accelerating and they're thriving. All right. Coincidence? I don't think so. But back to the scriptures, the book of Revelation. We'll go to the 14th chapter and verses 9 through 11. Revelation 14 and 9. And the third angel followed them, saying with a loud voice, if any man worship the beast and his image, and receive his mark in his forehead or in his hand, the same shall drink of the wine of the wrath of Yahweh, which is poured without mixture into the cup of his indignation, and he shall be tormented with fire and brimstone in the presence of the angels and in the presence of the Lamb. The Lamb being Yahushua, the one who the world really calls Jesus Christ, is coming back as a lion this time to subdue the dragon, which is the dragon being the Roman Empire revised, which is modern day America, because the Roman Empire back in the ancient world they received a womb but did live, and today is modern day Rome. You can look at the business, the building structure of the White House and all the important political buildings here and around the world. And if you go and type on YouTube or Google, you look up Petra Mountains, Mount Petra, they have the same columns build structure. And back then they also got the eagle sitting in those inside those columns or those ancient structures over there at Mount Petra, just south of Jordan, where they got the eagle. And just like today's time, they hold up the eagle high in the air because their belief system is that when they die, the eagle will carry their spirit to the spirit world. All right. And the eagle is a proud bird as well in nature and character. And Esau Edom is a proud man. He boasts in his gift of being able to go out here and colonize and destroy this world and destroy people's territories and land. All right. Babylon here, Babylon the Great, is nothing but a 500+ year old occupation. And everywhere Esau Edom goes throughout the world, he converts those places to the natural people's inhabitants and converts them into his personal occupations. And then he'll brandish them on TV and saying, oh yeah, it's great, it's fine. But they never show the people starving, dying. All right. And the dragon is the Roman Empire, and the beast is the European Union and NATO. And the false prophet is the Vatican, which are the three city-states, which is Washington, D.C., the city-state of London, and the Vatican itself. All right? So the beast in his image, so pretty much his doctrine, the beast in his image is a psychological, it's a philosophy that stems from the European Union and NATO, and how you carry and conduct yourself. They're supposedly giving you your quote-unquote moral code of moral fiber and moral code of ethics. That comes from the European Union and NATO. The dragon itself, they had two horns, but spake as a dragon, is here in is America, because you got the Republicans and the Democrats. There's two horns, but they're speaking the same thing. So they give you that pseudo thought of being able to have choice. You ain't got no, we don't have no choice. That's why I don't vote. And the Vatican is their spiritual headquarters, which is that false prophet, which is slave plantation Christianity or Roman Catholicism. All right. But to prove that they know that the Israelites and the Heavenly Father Yahweh and the Son Yahweh Shah and King David and the Israelites were so-called black people, Latinos and Native Americans. If you go to YouTube and you type in Putin shows the Russian icon images, and you put in, and then you can also put in the Pope. This is back in 2024, and you can also put in the Pope showed icons of black Israelites in 2024, which shows you that they know the truth. Now back to Revelation real quick. Shit. This is Revelation chapter 19 and 20. And the beast was taken, and with him the false prophet that wrought miracles before him, with which he deceived them that have received the mark of the beast, and them that worshipped his image. These both were cast into a lake of fire, burning with brimstone. And the lake of fire burning with brimstone is going to be the thermonuclear third world war that happens here on the shores of Babylon and over there in Israel. That's why they call this place the virgin daughter of Babylon, because war has never broken out on Babylon's soil. So she's a virgin in that sense. Revelation chapter 20 and 4. And I saw thrones, and they that sat upon them, and judgment was given unto them. And I saw the souls of them that were beheaded for the witness of Yahweh Shah and for the word of Yahweh, and which had not worshipped the beast, neither his image, neither have received his mark upon their foreheads or in their hands, and they lived and reigned with Yahweh Shah 1,000 years. So that's the elect. Some of the elect will be martyred, and some of them will be beamed up in the so-called UFOs that Yahweh Shah will be riding in upon his return. That's what those so-called UFOs are. Those are the chariots of Israel. Look up Elisha and Elijah. The story of Elisha and Elijah and the chariots of Israel. And that's what they are. So for this is Revelation 18 and 5. For her sins have reached unto heaven, and God hath remembered her iniquity. And that's talking about here in Babylon, with all the bloodshed and murder that they have, are, and continue to shed upon this earth of the children of Israel. So Ezekiel 25, and this proves that the Most High is going to recompense and pay back all the 17 nations that have hurt and killed the nation of Israel, his children, the apple of his eye. It's Obadiah, the book of Obadiah, who was a Levite. Obadiah 1 and 2. Behold, I have made thee small among the heathen, thou art greatly despised. Which is, even though they're trying to establish their new world order right now, they are amongst the nations, the heathen nations, because the nation of Israel doesn't have a seat at the World Health Organization or the WEF. Everyone else does, though. The pride of thine heart hath deceived thee, thou that dwelleth in the clefts of the rock, whose habitation is high, that saith in his heart, who shall bring me down to the ground? And that's Esau Edom with his pride. Though thou exalt thyself as the eagle, and though thou set thy nest among the stars, thence will I bring thee down, saith the Lord Yahweh. All right. So in layman's terms, the Most High is going to anybody who is not spiritually an Israelite, and specifically spiritually an Israelite of the elect of the nation of Israel, you are about to get fucked up out here in the streets of Babylon. Thus saith the Lord Yahweh. I just read it. Okay. I got to end this. It's a quick hit. Revelation 13, the more proof of what the Lord said and what he means. Revelation 13, 9 and 10. If any man have an ear, let him hear. He that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity. He that killeth with the sword must be killed with the sword. Here is the patience and the faith of the saints. And the patience and the faith of those saints are the elect of the nation of Israel. So like I just said, in layman's terms, in today's terms, the Lord is saying, whoever is not of the elect of the nation of Israel, you are going to get fucked up real bad. Okay? So, with that, I want to give all praise, honor, and glories to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Harakah Kodash. Quick note, if you want to learn more from my channel, because I post up videos from my elders who cover a broader spectrum of the nature of reality via taking past and present events and filtering them through the scriptures. The name of my channel is The MOTB is Here Too. All the letters and words are together. So the MOTB is here too. And if you go to the section on my page that says post, I'm constantly posting up videos from my elders who are covering all aspects of the Bible, meaning the Old Testament, the New Testament, as well as the Apocrypha, which is the transitional books between the Old Testament and the New Testament. And it explains how the nation of Israelites were Hellenized during the time of the Greeks. So it's going to help clarify the caliber of the two caliber of Gentiles. The natural born Gentiles, which are the heathens, and then the Gentiles, other caliber Gentiles, which were Israelites that were raised in a Gentile state of mind. An example is I was a Gentile before the Lord tapped my pineal gland and woke me up to this knowledge. All right. And so if you want to go to my elders pages themselves, Elder Apostle Tahar's channel is what is the 666 Mark II GMS Truth. Elder Apostle Gabar's channel is Daily Edification 4. Elder Apostle Ricar's channel is GMS Keep Pushing On. Elder Apostle Ramlav's channel is GMS Info Doc Channel 12. And if you want to go, the Elder Apostle Tahar, Gabar, and Bishop Sakaron have a channel called Bear With Me. GMS Apostles Street Ministry. And then Elder Apostle Gabar and Elder Bishop Sakaron have a channel called Apostles Live GMS 34th. So with that, I hope